bring you flowers in the pouring rain. From this day until the day we throw it all away. Let's talk about it, 'cause I can't.
I started doing my school discos, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Can't you see? Right
Last
here
summer we did like 94 flights or something.
And by the way, did I say that I am here to stay? Right here beside you, I will never deny you my love. You're everything to me, can't you see?
Sent him the track, and he was like, I absolutely love it. It's like, I'll jump on it, no problem.
You so, oh baby, and I will never ever let you go. I'll bring you flowers in the pouring rain. Living without you is driving me insane. I'll bring you flowers, they'll make your day. Those tears you cry, I'll dry them all away.
Mr. Nathan Dawe.
I'll bring you flowers in the pouring rain. Living without you is driving me insane. I'll bring you flowers, they'll make your day. Those tears you cry, I'll dry them all away.
Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the In Brother Words podcast. My name's Tommy, this is Robbie, and today we are joined by a very special guest. Local lad turned international DJ, Mr. Nathan Dawe.
Hello, how are you boys? You alright, yeah?
Very good.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming on.
Thank you. You're probably a very busy guy at the moment, so we
Yeah,
appreciate
quite
you
hectic.
you
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
down. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, we're gonna have a nice chat, and like we do with all of our guests, we want to strip it right back to start off with. You know, the fact you are a local lad. Tell us just a little bit about kind of growing up in Burton. What school was it that you went to?
I went to St Modwin's Primary School.
Yeah.
I went to Robert Sutton Secondary School. I did a little bit at Burton College as well.
Yeah.
I live in Stretton, so like I've lived there my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice because I get to go to the city all the time. I like being able to come back to Burton and like everyone knows everyone, and like it's just a nice kind of homely feel to it. You feel like you've got a massive extended family,
Yeah.
and I just like having a bit of both. I can go and live the city life and then come back and live the town life. So it's just been nice, and I think it's helped me grow and stand out in a town because it's obviously such a small area.
Yeah.
Whereas in a city, you might have been a bit diluted or whatever.
Yeah. Don't know what you think, but when I kind of go away from Burton, because I've lived in a few places, Robbie, London, etc. You kind of miss it, don't you, a little bit? Like Burton gets a bad rap, but I quite like it.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I
it's nice.
love Burton. Like I always rep for Burton, but don't get me wrong. Some nights of the week, if you're thinking like Tuesday night, and obviously because of my work, I don't really need to be up early in the morning, and I think I want to go out for a drink, and there's nowhere open. But then if you're in the city, then you like anywhere else like Manchester, Birmingham, London, there's always places popping up like midweek that you could go and enjoy yourself. So the only thing about Burton is there's not much to do in the week. But
Yeah.
on the weekend, it's still a good laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what secondary school was it? That you,
Robert Sutton, yeah.
Robert Sutton, yeah. Nice. And how would you kind of describe yourself during those school years? Were you a quiet lad? Were you a...
I wouldn't say quiet. Like I went back to my school a few months ago actually and did like a little, like just a kind of little speech thing. And
Yeah.
a few of the old teachers that were there when I was were still there.
That must have been nice.
Yeah, no, they were cool. Like obviously, I weren't the model child in school, but at the same time, I weren't like really bad. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I ever had one after school detention.
No.
I was just very chatty and a bit cheeky, and the teachers kind of remind me of that and just say you're a bit of a nuisance in class. But they say like, you know, we always seen like I won at the end of year 11. I won the most likely to be famous award.
Oh, wow.
And,
That panned out well then.
well.
It was a good shout from everybody.
yeah, I
for
hate that word famous, but like the teachers reminded me of that and were saying like, see, like we told you.
Yeah.
And I think they could just see that I was always had my mind set on
Yeah.
something and I was going to get it. So yeah, I wasn't the model student. I got decent grades, like C's and B's. But yeah, I still did pretty well at school.
Nice. And then, so kind of breaking into what you do now. So how early did that come on through your childhood?
When I was about 8-9 years old, I'd like already decided that I loved DJing.
Yeah.
Like we're watching DJs, and then my mum and dad brought me some decks from Argos, like on my 9th birthday. It might have been Christmas or birthday.
Yeah.
And then I just played them non-stop, like messed around on them. Used to charge my parents to come in the front room to like, it was like £1 to come watch me. And then
handing out flyers in the kitchen.
literally, yeah, all stay in the bathroom and that. And then I then progressed to doing like my school discos.
Yeah.
So like my friends, like parents were part of like the PTA and like stuff. So they were kind of putting my name forward, going to just give Nathan a chance. And then I started doing my school discos. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. Like, started doing birthday parties for people. Started doing like smaller gigs at like bars and clubs around the area, and then put my own events on, and just that's how it kind of started. But it's from a very early age in Burton, like 8 years old.
Yeah. So who were the DJs that you were watching back then that you were sort of looking up to?
Kind of like I always remember watching like T4 in the park and that on TV.
Yeah.
And just seeing all these thousands of like people going mad and thinking like, I want to be that guy that's controlling the music. And also going to just normal like 40th birthday parties with your parents. All the other kids are like running around, sliding on their knees and stuff. And I was just watching the DJ thinking like, that's sick. He's just like controlling what people's actually doing in this room by the tunes he's choosing. So I used to just watch the DJ. And then my dad would sometimes take me up and say, can he just like shadow you for the night? And I'd just stand there and watch and that. And so I wouldn't say it was anyone specific that like I aspired to be. I just was just fascinated with the side of playing music to people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so about so obviously you said that you went on to do 16th birthdays and things like that. Is there any sort of standout worst gigs you've done and any like best gigs that you can think of?
Yeah, there's probably been plenty. Like worst gigs, like going up and no one's there, and like you're playing to no one.
Does that happen quite a lot in the early days?
It is, yeah. Like all the time. Like you'd turn up and it would be a crap birthday, or there'll be no one there, or you'd have technical problems because obviously you're still learning and you're about to start and there's no music coming out the speakers and you're thinking, I've plugged it all in, it's not working. And then I think obviously progressively you get better at that stuff. And obviously best gigs, I'd have to say, like, even though all the things that I'm doing now you'd say are the best, there's still been some like amazing gigs when I was like 17, 18.
The more like intimate ones.
Yeah, just obviously because it was all fresh and new to me, and then when all your mates are there and it's going off, like they're all like memories that we'll never lose. But yeah, there's good and bad in everything. But I think that there's been a few horror stories. I could probably write a book, to be fair.
I'm sure that'll come one day. I think in terms of Burton gigs, well, both me and Tommy were on the head team at De Ferrers, and I think both of us actually paid you 50 quid back in the day to do our sixth form parties.
Where was that?
I think one of them might have been at the Wetmore Whistle, as it was.
Whistle.
Oh, really?
R.I.P. the Wetmore Whistle. That's gone now.
I was born in '94. You were as well, weren't you? Yeah.
And upstairs above a pub somewhere, sort of near Shobnall. Can't remember what it was called.
Star and Garter.
That would have been the one.
It was a fancy dress one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but like you say, when you're talking about sort of coming from Burton, I think it was very much, even at that point, it was like, if you need a DJ, just get Nathan. Like you're the only one, really, weren't you? The only good one.
The go-to. I wouldn't say the only good one. There's a lot of good DJs. But like, obviously, I think at a time, like I was the go-to guy.
Yeah.
If you're having a party, you obviously wanted to get Nathan to do it. That was kind of the vibe, and I think that's just because of my age, my friendship circle, and the fact that I was doing like all the nightclubs in the area, putting on my own events. Obviously, if you're a kid and you're turning 18, you're thinking that I want Nathan to be my DJ. So that's kind of how it worked in the.
Was it Uber rooms in Burton?
Well, I did it when it was Bullet.
Bullet,
Bullet. They like
That's
back from
where
the past. That is.
when I first started to go out. Yeah.
Did you have any jobs before DJing? So I did watch an interview with you where you said you worked very briefly at Primark.
Yeah. No, I did a paper round for a bit, and I did Primark for I think over a year. I did Primark.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that make you think, I definitely don't want to work in this industry forever?
I loved Primark. Like, it was sick. People, like my mum worked there.
Yeah.
All the mates and my mates, it was sick. But I was earning like 16 quid for 4 hours work.
Yeah.
And then on the night, I'd go and do like a birthday party and get like 80 quid.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, well, that don't make really sense, does it? Like,
Yeah, I have just trademarked the autobiography title "Coat Hangers to Big Bangers." Okay. If you want to, if you ever want to use that, just hit me up.
I'll leave my
It's perfect. Yeah.
Do you feel like there was a point where you thought, okay, like I'm proper onto something here? Do you know what I mean, like this is going to be?
Yeah, it was when I released. Like, obviously, I started doing SoundCloud mixes and stuff, and it was when I released a mix called Gold Edition 1, and it just like kind of spiraled out of control. Like all the mixes up to that point, I'd be getting like 1,000 plays a week or whatever, and then I released this mix and like mashed loads of genres together rather than just sticking to one genre.
Yeah,
that's what I used to do. I'd do like a hip hop mix or a house mix, and I thought, right, I'm going to just mash them all together. and see what happens. And I did this like mad mix with loads of different genres, put it out, and then it got like 20,000 plays in like its first day.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, wow, this is something's going on here. And then just loads of tweets coming through, and by the end of the day, it hit like 50, 60,000, like by the end of the weekend, sorry. And obviously I'd never hit them numbers before. And then I just remember thinking, like, this is your moment now. You just need to chuck yourself into it, release mix after mix, and like keep the quality up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that's kind of where it all snowballed
Yeah.
from.
What year was that?
2015.
Yeah, I thought it would be because I went to uni from 2014, and obviously I knew who you were from Burton, and I'd sort of been a supporter before then. And then I remember going to sort of like a flat party at uni, and one of your mixes was on where you know the little you got your name in the song it comes in. And I went, oh, is this Nathan Dawe? And all the people in the flat were like, oh yeah, do you know him? Like, it's so cool. He's a upcoming DJ. And I was like, oh yeah, it's like he's from my local area.
That was like that year. It was just mental. Like at the start of the year, I was just a resident DJ in Burton, and like no one knew me out of Burton. And then by the end of that year, I was just getting like I'd go shopping in the Into Centre in like Manchester and just get hounded like by kids and stuff. And like it was mad. Like that adjusting your lifestyle to it. Just off a few SoundCloud mixes, like it was mad. But like what you're saying is true. Like I really believe that year, pretty much every like university party or freshers party or house party, the soundtrack was just like putting Nathan Dawe mix on.
Yeah, exactly.
And that I've heard that so many times.
Yeah,
amazing. So you're on just over 2.5 million monthly plays at the moment on Spotify. Is that something you keep an eye on? Do you look at that kind of thing?
When you bring a new song out, I think for the first few weeks you'll like clock and you'll keep looking and see how it's growing. But I've not checked it in a while, so thank you for letting me know that.
It's all right.
But no, yeah, like
I'm sure it's about to go up a hell of a lot in the next week.
I get obviously get told, like my manager will tell me like whatever, but we've got that much going on.
Yeah,
like, we don't really check on that at the minute. But no, it is nice to know that.
Cool. And how did you kind of feel life changed for you as that success grew? So did your friends start to treat you different? Did you get people crawling out of the woodworks that you not spoke to for years?
No, like obviously I've got a really small like friendship circle, which have been the same since like day one.
Yeah.
And like even if we go into a big show, like a big festival, Creamfields or whatever, if they call shotgun, they're in the front. Like,
oh, brilliant.
That's how it works. So like, there's no like special treatment from them at all. They love what I'm doing, support it like 100%. But there's no like fakeness that's been showed from them.
Yeah.
Life's changed. Obviously, life has changed. Like, there's no denying that. But because I'm so like grounded, living in Burton and like know everyone and got friends, I've not really like accepted any new or fake friends in.
Yeah.
So I've not really experienced that.
I think that's something that you'll try and carry on as obviously as you go even bigger and bigger.
It's not even like carry. It's just that's just what I am.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a conscious decision to make. You just that's who you are as a person.
It's what it is. Like obviously I've got a lot of friends out like that are doing big things and whatever, and I'm friends with them, but I don't choose to like leave my friends and now be their friends just because I'm doing the same things they're doing. Like I don't want to. I've got my friends and that's it. But yeah, so there's that, and you just get loads of free stuff. So that's cool.
What's the best free thing you've ever had? I imagine you get a lot of free stuff. Anyway.
I got something the other day actually. Like Xbox sent me like a new headset.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't really understand like what's good and what's not when it comes to gaming.
Yeah.
But I sent the picture of it into my group chat, and they were like, "Oh, you're so lucky. That it's
really?
the best headset." And I played with it last night for the first time, and it is unreal. But I don't know. Like I'd say that most recently, but just clothes and like.
Do you know it's coming, or does it just arrive and you're like, oh?
Depends what it is. A lot of the time, like we just get sent a lot of stuff that we didn't know was coming. But if I really want something, I'll just say like to my manager, I need some new Adidas clothes. Can we sort it? And then he'll sort it. But like, but yeah, no, you don't always know. But sometimes you do get told.
Yeah. So that was on my original list, and I didn't know if it was an actual thing. You seem to wear like a lot of like say Adidas tracksuits and that sort of thing. I didn't know if it was like, is that a proper deal that you've got with them?
Yeah, it was. I've always worn Adidas like my whole life. So for me, naturally, I just enjoy wearing it. And then when I started getting gigs, I was wearing like, I'd go in like jeans and like a tracksuit top when I was getting like my Nathan Dawe gigs, like from 2015 onwards. And then I thought, right, I'm going to try and, because I was always like brand orientated when I was thinking my decisions. And I thought, rather than wearing like jeans, why not wear the full tracksuits? Like every gig, I'll turn up in like a different tracksuit. So I started doing that, but at the time, like, DJs didn't really turn up to gigs in tracksuits. So I didn't really see many people doing it. So loads of times we'd get to the front door and like the bouncers would be like, you ain't coming in. And
You're like, it's my name on the door.
well,
mate.
yeah, but literally, I'll be literally saying, look, I'm on that poster behind you.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna let me in.
Yeah.
They go, no tracksuits, and the manager would have to come out and like get me in. And it just become a thing where people was like tweeting, I wonder what tracksuit Nathan Dore's gonna wear tonight. And then it just became like a part of a brand that like whenever you see Nathan Dore, it's in an Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah.
So I spent thousands and thousands of pounds on Adidas tracksuits, and then it's not up until recently that they started showing some love back, and now they send us loads of free stuff, and we've got loads of things planned with them in the future.
Oh, brilliant.
But no, Adidas was always like a part of the brand that I wanted to kind of be aside.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
If we wear All Saints stuff for long enough, then
Yeah.
Like,
Start getting
might
some
be
followers
alright.
on this. Yeah,
You'll get
exactly. I want to talk to you about like traveling a lot. I mean, obviously we're in lockdown at the moment, so it's not at the minute. But in terms of your general sort of normal life, how many days a week are you on the road? It must be quite a lot.
Depends, like obviously what season we're in. Like last summer we did like 94 flights or something through the summer.
Wow.
So that was just like a blur.
do you like flying?
Mm,
You're quite a tall guy. I imagine
yeah,
it's
I'm not
most
like
comfortable.
scared of flying.
Yeah.
But I don't really like it. And like you say, if I don't get extra leg room and stuff, then like I'm screwed.
You don't fit
the
in.
whole flight. Yeah. But and I don't mind flying, but it's just I just feel like I've wasted all that time. Like if you've done like sometimes I have to get like 4 flights to make it to a gig on time, and then you've done the gig for an hour, and then you go and you're thinking I've just travelled for a day, like for one gig.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously summer's hectic, and then during lockdown, obviously I've not been doing travelling, so it's been cool to be able to do things from home and just do like Zoom calls and stuff. But more time like in normal life in the winter or whatever, we'll just travel to the gigs on the weekends. It just, like I say, it's seasonal. So if you've got like a freshers tour or I'm on tour with an artist, like supporting them, then obviously you're on the road all week. So
Yeah.
it kind of changes. But yeah, I'm very rarely at home.
Yeah.
Like basically, I'm always on the road.
Yeah. And how does that take its toll on you, do you think? In terms of your health and things like that? You seem to be okay with it?
I do get ill quite a lot. Like as in, I'll pick up colds and stuff quite a lot. Like I'm not got a great immune system. So like, I'll always get ill like in the summer just from going on all the flights and stuff. But nothing too bad. And I wouldn't say it really affects my health. I haven't got a great diet as it is. Like I just eat junk food all the time. So that kind of fits in nicely with that.
You're one of them people who can just stay skinny when what you eat.
I eat so much. Yeah. I just eat and eat and eat, and I just keep growing up and not out. Like it's great. So it doesn't really affect me kind of health wise. And because I've travelled with my friends and obviously I'm with my laptop and stuff, I can still get on with work. So it's not too bad. Like I think there's worse jobs.
Yeah,
as well.
for sure. Yeah,
Definitely.
100%.
One thing I'm quite interested in, and I know a lot of our viewers are as well, is kind of the things that we don't see. So the pressures of being a performer, the highs and lows. Do you know what I mean? Not just all the exciting things.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the pressure of that, the kind of culture of social media, things like that?
It's hard. Like at times, obviously people just see the good things and they say, "Oh, I've heard you on Radio 1 or I've seen you on TV or whatever," and they see like the highs and they think like you've got this amazing glamorous lifestyle, and it is like you can't hide from that. But to maintain a level of success and like stay on top of your game, you have to be on top of everything and like just constantly on the phone and dealing with situations and like pressure and having to deliver. Like I have to make money for everyone that works for me, and
Of course, yeah.
it's it is a lot of pressure and a lot of sleepless nights and whatever. I feel like I deal with it quite well. There's some times where it might overwhelm me a little bit, but I've never got to like a breaking point yet. I just kind of get on with it and deal with it. And that's just part and parcel of, I think, being successful in any kind of industry. You've always got that level of pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, you take the rough with the smooth, don't you?
yeah.
It's-
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you get a lot of pros like out of it, so it's worth it in the end. But yeah, that's kind of how I deal with things. I just kind of put it to the back of my mind. If it's something I can't like control, but if it's something I can control, I'll just throw myself into it and like sort it out.
Yeah. So what would be your coping mechanism? Say, if you did get to a gig and you sort of stressed out, whatever,
Yeah.
because you've got your friends there with you. Does that
Yeah,
help?
I mean, I suppose like with gigs now, because I've been a DJ my whole life. Like, gigs are literally the easiest part of my work.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy. Like, I just start to walk in the park when I turn up because I've done it for so long. So you might get nervous on like certain gigs if it's like a big festival or you like your own headline show.
Yeah.
You might think, right, I've got to really deliver tonight. But most of the time, like, it's the easy part. The things that are more pressure, like, on you is when you've been offered like a certain deal and you've got to decide if it's the right thing to take and like,
like PR.
And deciding just ultimately the decision always comes down to the artist. So if you've been offered something really good or you've been offered like 3 things and you've got to choose one and you're being advised loads of different things like do this one, do this one, do this one, and it comes down to your decision, then you can't really sleep at night because you're thinking, well, is it the right decision? Is it not? So they're more of the pressure like areas that I like have, but the gigs don't really give me pressure.
And who is it that you sort of go to as your main point of advice if it was to say something to do with, you know, your record company have come to you and said, would you want to do A, B or C?
Yeah,
is there somebody that you go to?
Like my manager's sick, so like we talk literally hours every day. So would always like thresh it out and discuss it for hours on end and work out the pros, the cons, and then obviously I've got a lot of friends in the industry that I'd ask for their advice. So yeah, there's a lot of talking it out. Really, kind of helps you make the right decision. I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever been starstruck? Can you think of anyone you've met where you thought, blimey?
Well, actually, yeah, not music. Like I remember a few years ago, I was in Bullring.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if you know football, but Benteke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get round to football.
Yeah, we'll get onto Villa in a bit.
He was in Game in Bullring,
Really?
and like obviously when he was playing for Villa. And I was just like, oh my, I was with my mate, and I was like, oh my God, Benteke's over there. And it's the only time I've thought like, I was a bit starstruck.
Yeah.
I asked for a picture in that, and he didn't really say much.
No.
But that's the one time I was a little bit starstruck. But to be honest, I don't really get starstruck. Like, obviously being in like this industry, you will always be around like famous people, and it's kind of like whenever I've been in rooms with like really famous people, like worldwide superstars, no one's showing them attention because like they're in that kind of situation and they're in that area that's just full of people that are in the industry.
All the famous
Used to
people,
it.
yeah. Have you
Yes.
got any examples of who that might be, for example, just so people can imagine it when they're...
I don't. Do you know like obviously Bad Bunny? Like he's a massive like Spanish kind of artist. And
Yeah.
he wasn't getting sizzled or anything like that. Then you've got like your massive like worldwide DJs like Diplo and stuff that have been there in green rooms. We've been at events with like even Drake has been there,
Wow.
and they're just sitting there and like people are just walking past like they're just normal people.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking inside, obviously coming from Burton, like that's Drake.
Yeah,
Like,
that's amazing, yeah.
and no one's like batting an eyelid. And so I feel like going back to the question, you kind of can't let yourself be starstruck because everyone else in that situation isn't showing an ounce of like starstruckness or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'll look over and think like, fucking hell, like there's so and so. But
Such a nice memory to clock. Isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. But I
awesome,
don't. I've never really had like a oh my God moment.
Yeah.
Like,
How is it the other way when? Because I'd assume there's people that meet you and become starstruck as well.
that was weird. And one of the first like times that one of the first few gigs that I was doing since I made my name quite big was like a gig in Nottingham, and some girl just ran up to me and like hugged me, held on to me, and just like crying her eyes out. And I was just standing like looking around, thinking like what? Like, I thought like she was upset or whatever. And her mates were just like, "Oh my God, she loves you." And I was thinking, what is going on? Like, why are you crying? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was just like crying her eyes out just because she met me. And that's when I thought like, this is just crazy. Like, I don't get what's going on. And then since that, there is like, you can notice it. You're trying to like, people come up to you and talk, and they just can't get the words out sometimes.
You must see the little.
Yeah, well, yeah. What about if you're
it's
sat in
mad.
Nando's or something, and he's trying to have a date or whatever it is? Can you sort of clock people looking at you and things like that?
Yeah, you do know. Like, it's usually people. The ones that I find quite funny is when like I can see in the corner of my eye someone's clocked that I'm there, and the person they're with don't believe me. So then they're on the phone, clearly like googling and going like, look, like. And then
Definitely him, definitely
And I'm
him,
thinking I can literally see her. But in Burton, people like I'm just Nate from Burton, so like anyone can come up to me and say hello. I'll have a conversation. It's not a problem. A lot of people just tend to like, if I'm out eating or whatever, I'll just say like, yeah, let's just leave him. And then maybe when I'm leaving, they'll come up and ask for like a picture or whatever. But it's like, cause I think because I'm such a like nice, approachable person, people aren't too scared to like come up and say hello.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you can definitely sense like people kind of pointing or looking over, which sometimes is a little bit annoying because you feel on edge. You're thinking like, well, you know,
You just
what
want
you're
to
looking
dive
at, what you're
into
saying.
your
Yeah. But once again, it's part and parcel of the job.
Exactly.
And I never did music for that, but obviously I now realise that's a part of it, and you know you have to deal with it. But it's nice, I suppose, to be like kind of appreciated for the work you do. But yeah, like I say, when people get starstruck as such seeing me, it weirds me out as much as it must weird them out.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, how can you be starstruck of meeting me? Like, it makes no sense. So yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Okay. So we've got a little section now which is called Guestions.
Okay.
So every guest that we've ever had on, which is I think 3 or 4 now, we're going to ask them the same 5 questions, and then we've got a special sort of question at the end, which is based on your name.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So the first one, everyone's going to want to know this, Nathan. Meal deal, right? So we want your sandwich, crisps, and drink. What's your go-to?
I'm probably gonna get judged for this, but it would be like just a cheddar cheese or a cheese and onion,
Nothing wrong with that.
Quavers, and probably like a Lucozade Sport or a Ribena. It's kind of my.
Ribena's so
We
popular,
always go
isn't
for
it?
Ribena.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
So you're a big cheese fan then?
Well, I don't like. People obviously usually get like the meat feasts or like the bacon and chicken, but I always find the bacon's really fatty in that.
Yeah.
So I'd have a chicken mayo to be fair, but I'll just go safe with the cheese because I don't like fat on food and that.
Yeah.
Okay. Night in or a night out? What do you prefer?
I'd say night out because I don't actually get a lot of them because I'm always working.
Yeah.
So when I get a chance to go on a night out, like I do love that, and like night in's cool, but I feel like I have more fun like going out.
Yeah,
So
that's so true because I was thinking he's going to say night in because he's always out.
Night out's a
you-
busman's
but that's-
holiday.
But it's not out for
Yeah.
you, is it? Because you're
people
working.
think obviously people assume that they think like, oh, you're out all the time, and you're like, well, you're not because like you're all there getting drunk in the club.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting backstage waiting to go on.
Yeah.
And then I go on and then I'm off.
Do you have a drink during? your
Yeah, I
sets
do.
and
Like
stuff?
I used to like drink quite heavily at the gigs, like and like make it a night out every time. Bring in my
Yeah.
friends, get drunk. But then when you do that many, it's like I can't do this
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
So yeah, I'll have a drink like at a gig, but 1 or 2 drinks, then just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about if you go on a night out, say with your mates or whoever? How do you find it like being in a club with a DJ on? What if the DJ's a bit naff? Do you
Well,
sort of
it's annoying because people always come up and go, "Oh, can't you go on?" Like every time you go out, and it's just like, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
But people say like, "Oh, do you judge the DJ? Do you watch it?" And I was like, "No, I don't." Like, I probably zone out. Really,
Yeah.
I'm more like there to be sociable, and chat with my mates and have a laugh. Like, I don't really listen or judge what the DJ is doing. But when you're in a room and there's a DJ on, and say the DJ does something by mistake or whatever, people always look at you as if to say like, "Go on, then sort it." Like, what can I do? Like, but no, like I just get on with it. Like, I don't really judge.
What's the best holiday you've been on?
Once again, I don't really get to go on many holidays because I'm always
Yeah.
like flying to do work. But
It could maybe just be somewhere you've done a gig.
yeah, I mean
that's abroad.
Dubai obviously was great.
Mhm.
To be fair, I went to Istanbul. That was quite nice. Like on a holiday, managed to like go and actually explore like that area and like
Turkey's beautiful, isn't it? It's
yeah,
really nice.
it was just really really nice. And I was probably surprised a bit because I thought it was going to be a bit of a like hellhole, to be honest. But
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was lovely. So I'd say that recently.
Nice. A bit of a setup for question 4. Do you like ketchup?
Yeah, I mean I'll have it.
In your house, fridge or cupboard?
Cupboard.
correct?
Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not. It's supposed to be in the
It's
fridge.
technically
but-
not, but morally right. That's
Yeah.
the way I say it.
Oh right. Really?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm more of a mustard man, to be honest.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
English mustard, but I do have a bit of ketchup now and again.
And when it comes to parking your car, are you do you drive into your space nose first and reverse out, or do you like to reverse into your spaces and drive out nose forward?
I'm 50-50.
You've
So
got a nice car, so I imagine you park it away from as
Wherever
many
it's
cars as
safe.
possible.
most of the time I will reverse it in
Yeah.
just to get out easier. But there has been plenty of times where I've just banged it in and just reversed it out. I'm not bothered. I'm quite a confident driver, so I can kind of reverse in or out. Like, kind of, it doesn't bother me. I know some people reverse in, so it's easier to get out, but I'm not too bothered about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the last question, special question based on your name, it's Nathan Chaw. What are you good at and what are you bad at around the house?
God, I don't really do much, really. Like, Mum's probably watching now. But,
What's your least favourite? What
I
do you
mean,
hate?
Ironing, hoovering, anything like that?
Ironing's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite
Or
good at
putting your
ironing.
duvet cover on.
yeah, I mean, this is really bad because I can't think of anything. Probably just like cleaning my room because my
Yeah.
room's like such a tip all the time because I'm just always in, out.
You've
getting
got an
changed.
excuse though, haven't you?
Yeah, but like, you know, I'll have a drink and I'll just leave the cup there for a few days and Mum's like, why can't you just bring it downstairs?
Yeah, that's
So
totally all over.
I would say cleaning my room, keeping on top of that. I'm quite bad at.
What are you good at? What was the one where you say?
You know,
Making the room untidy in the first place.
probably, yeah. What am I good at?
Any gardening? Get involved in any gardening, anything like that? Bit of DIY? Done any DIY before? I'm terrible at DIY. So there's no judgment there.
I would say probably taking the bins out. I'm quite good at that.
Yeah.
I am. I'm quite
We've all
talented
got
at
our own
that.
things, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll move on then to you've got a new single out at the moment.
Yeah,
So by the time this is out, it will be available for people, which is featuring KSI. It's called Lighter. So everybody go and check that out. We wanted to know, how did that come about, working with KSI?
Yeah, so obviously, well, the tune came about originally because Ella Henderson wrote the song, but it was in a really slow format. It was like a ballad, and she didn't really have any use for it. So she sent it over to us and was like, "What are your thoughts on this? Could you have any use for it?" And we thought, yeah, we could try and speed it up and turn it into a bit of a dance track, and did that and pitched it up a little bit. And we thought, God, this sounds really, really good. So the tune as it was brilliant, and we thought, this is cool. And then obviously, because Flowers did so well, the label was saying, should we think about putting another rapper on a record?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we can. Like, if it sounds right, because the song is really good as it is. And then, obviously, I've known of KSI for a long time, and I've been quite a fan of his work.
Me and Tommy, we're both big fans of him.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
And then, like, when his music recently is started to come out, and the quality's been really, really good.
Yeah.
And
His album's superb, isn't
Yeah,
it?
really good.
yeah, I was listening to it. I was thinking, like KSI is actually sick. So I said to my manager, like, what do you think? Would this work? He was like, let's reach out. So he reached out to his manager, and then linked me and KSI up, and sent in the track. And he was like, I absolutely love it. It's like, I'll jump on it, no problem. And then he recorded his verse, sent it over. I was like, sick. Like, he smashed it. Such a clever verse. And put it all together and in the end, and then played it and sent it to the label and that. And everyone was just like so gassed. And he's gassed. His fan base is gassed. My fan base is gassed. Like, everyone was so excited, like, for it to come out. And obviously it's out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a stressful time getting it all sorted, but it was just came together all naturally, and like, it was just sick. Everyone's buzzing.
Feels like it comes together quite quickly, actually. Then, from what you're saying, in terms of like once you've got it packaged up and then you send it over to him.
Yeah, obviously it was long creating the record, like,
Yeah.
but then when it was done, and you just got to see if like people are interested in jumping on it. That's quite quick, but obviously, you know, he sent the verse over, and with it being so good, it was like a non-brainer.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
it just
yeah.
worked, and I think his fan base really will like this. Like, you keep saying, it's my best tune.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to do well.
How's it been for you in terms of the reaction to it? 'Cause like you say, I mean, he has a massive fan base, huge following, particularly on, you know, he was a YouTuber originally,
Yeah.
still is, and then he's obviously gone over to the music space and also with his boxing as well.
Yeah.
So he has a huge following, obviously. I think it's like 6 million Twitter followers or something.
Yeah.
So how has that been for you since it's sort of come out that you're going to be doing something with him? Have you noticed an extra sort of?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your followers have gone up.
Yeah.
Like, they're quite they're a cool fan base, really.
Yeah.
They're very active.
Or just digging about his
They
height,
are.
aren't they? all
Yeah,
the time?
Yeah. Like, so I've been having a bit of banter with them and
Yeah.
that, and yeah, they're a good laugh, and they're very active and pick up on anything, and but really support the music, so it kind of works for everyone.
What was he kind of like to? What's KSI like to work with in terms of? I know the video that you've done and things like that. Is he a cool guy?
It sounds, yeah, like the video shoot was like a 13-hour day, and he was like cool, like jokes, like we got on straight away.
Yeah.
We talk all the time now, obviously with the record and stuff, and we shot like a launch party that's going to be streamed like on the weekend and stuff, and like
Oh, brilliant.
just cool. Like he's so excited about this record because it's just such a good tune. So
Yeah.
like we just keep messaging each other and saying like how close it is, and like so we're gassed and so excited. And then when I'm finding out information from the label, I'm telling it him, and he's just like, this is amazing. So like just a really cool, down to earth guy that just, you know, wants the tune to do well and wants himself to do well, like in every kind of thing he tries to dominate.
It proves people wrong constantly, doesn't he, in all fields?
Very
So I think one thing you mentioned was obviously the song Flowers, which has been a huge song this summer. How is it going from, with obviously that being so successful? I think it got to number 12, was it?
12,
in the
yeah,
UK
PJ,
charts?
yeah.
How is it sort of saying, okay, that's done really well? The next one has to be big, doesn't it, at that point?
There is an element of pressure. There is an element of pressure. But I'm confident the song's good enough to at least match it. But even if it doesn't, like, because the content's good and the tune's good, like, I'm obviously aiming for it to better Flowers.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, I'm not too fussed because it's still a great song, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it out if I didn't think it was.
It's a great project
So-
as well, isn't it, for both of you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it works. So there is pressure because obviously label and that kind of aspect of the work want to always see a progression. But I'm not letting it get to me too much because I want to just enjoy it and put it out and kind of live in the moment rather than just worrying about stats and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's for the best, isn't it?
But yeah, I'm hoping it will do all right.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
I'm sure it will. So just a little bit about that process then when it comes to making these tracks like Flowers, Cheating, for example. What,
Yeah.
You know, do you sit there and think, right, I want to use this. This is the one I want to sample, or does it
Yeah,
come
like,
about?
Well, Cheating, I've got like 30 versions of Cheating with like different vocals on, and the actual sample of the original like Cheating record was the last thing like we tried.
Really?
And it worked. So that was that one. Flowers, we were in the studio just making like a remix of the original for like my DJ sets. That was because we had another tune done, ready, video shot. It's never come out, but that was gonna come out. So in the meantime, we thought we'll make a few remixes just for my live sets. And then we did Flowers and just started to sound really good. So then I rang Malika to come and vocal it and do like a brand new vocal, and then rang JK and said, do you want to do a rap on it? And then in the end, we were like, this is far too good to just keep as like a remix. Obviously, it's actually a single now. So we binned that other tune off and put this out. So that was another like natural thing. So I feel like when it kind of, you know, if you don't really force it, it kind of ends up being your best work, really.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've found so far. But same with like Lighter, like it was kind of a natural thing. Ella hit us up, we hit KSI up. It just kind of happened. It wasn't like, right, we need to make a tune, what should we do?
Yeah.
It just kind of happened naturally. So I feel like that's the best way for me to work, like not having pressure and just going in studio and seeing what you come out with.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to something else then now, talk about football, and particularly Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So you're a huge Villa fan. So firstly, sort of being from Burton, being from Stretchon, how do you end up being a...
The family's from Birmingham, you see. So
Okay,
like
yeah.
they moved over just before I was born. So my whole family are just Villa fans, season ticket holders. So obviously that's how it happened, and I've just been going Villa my whole life. So I wouldn't be allowed to support anyone else.
Yeah, and obviously in recent years you've been sort of involved with them in a lot of different projects, and they've been good to you, haven't they, in that way?
Yeah, it is mad, really.
Yeah,
Like,
how is that?
you
Like,
get-
so we're big Derby fans, and I can't even imagine what that would be
Yeah.
like to do that for Derby.
obviously, like now you do it that much, it just becomes part and parcel of your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll just sit back and think like, I remember going to them games as a kid and just loving everything about the club and just thinking like, I would love to just be known by a player or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm mates with quite a lot of the players.
Yeah.
And I like the club. We do loads of stuff together, and I'm DJing on the pitch and stuff. And they play all my tunes before the game. They're playing Lighter at the kit launch.
Oh, amazing.
So like, when I step back and just watch, I'm thinking like 9-10-year-old me now would just be absolutely gassed.
Yeah.
But I still get gassed when I walk to the games and like I can hear my tunes being played like around the tannoy system and that. I'm just thinking that's my tune, like at my club.
Amazing,
Like
is
you can't beat that. And they support so much, and they do a lot of like social media posts to try and help the records that we put out. And you know, we just got a lot of love for each other, and it works really well.
So have you got like a contact at Villa that you're sort of, like social media?
There's a
that sort of
few,
thing?
but like really good friends with the stadium director, which helps. So like, you know, there's a lot. We all have a really good working relationship, and I feel like I'm now their like go-to guy. Like I compile all the playlists before the games, so
That's amazing.
like I will say, right, before this game, let's play these records.
Yeah.
And I've done that for a couple of seasons now. It's getting quite hectic now, so it's hard to keep on it. So now and again, they have to do it themselves. But yeah, even having the ability to choose that was
brilliant.
just crazy. And the first time they played my song, like Cheating, at the stadium, just got like goosebumps and that.
Yeah,
It
I
was
remember
just
you
mad.
put it on. I think it was on your Instagram story and stuff, and I saw
Yeah,
it.
it was just crazy.
Well, I know you've done a couple of shows at the O2 Academy in Birmingham, haven't you? Sold out your own shows there. I'm just wondering if maybe somewhere down the line, Villa Park potentially.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that something you've thought of before?
there was, this summer. I think I can say this. There was meant to be a concert at Villa Park with it was meant to be Mark Ronson, Chic.
Yeah, Sheik and Nile Rodgers. Yeah, I think I've seen them before.
There was another massive band which I really should know.
Yeah.
And myself. It was like a bit
wow.
of a, like it was 4 acts, 50,000 people at Villa Park. They were going to use the pitch and that.
Yeah.
And it fell through. One of the headliners pulled out, and it just didn't get
And then obviously COVID
confirmed.
probably.
And then obviously COVID happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I got asked to do that, I was like, oh my God. But hopefully one day we will have something on the pitch.
Yeah.
Like that's
You
the
did
ultimate aim
you did the fan park at Wembley.
for the League Cup final.
Oh, okay.
And that was mad. Like thousands of people there. And because obviously Villa support me so much, the fans then support you because they think, well, the club support him.
Yeah.
And I just walked in there and just got like absolutely mobbed by Villa, like drunken Villa fans.
Yeah.
And then did the set, and that was up there, one of the best ever gigs. Yeah. It was mad just because the excitement levels are already sky high.
I imagine.
And then like you're on there and they just turn the music right up, and I don't think Box Park really expected much. Like when our team got in touch and said, you know, would you be interested in having a DJ on? They were kind of like, yeah, okay, like we're up for that. And then I think near the time they started to realise kind of the impact it might have. So then they were very like on it and asking questions. Is he definitely going to turn up?
Yeah.
But then you could just tell they just thought I'd probably be in the corner playing some music, and people would just like be doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And when I turned up, obviously everyone just started charging to the front, and they were like, wow. And they had to turn the music off, turn the big sound system on, and make it into like a proper concert.
Yeah.
It was mad. And then they were just like, yo, this is sick. Like, we need to do this more often.
Amazing.
So that was fun, man.
So we're coming to the final few questions now. What I want to know is what makes you happy in terms of when are you at your happiest, would you say?
Well, I'm at my happiest when I'm with like my friends and family, and I'm just chilling at the pub. Like, I'm happy. Like,
What's your local to where you are now?
well, my local would be like the Monks Bridge in Streatham, but my mate owns the Springfield Sports Bar in Swad, so like I'm always there.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah.
Robbie often boss the karaoke there, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm always there. But yeah, so obviously that's kind of a cliche thing to say, like, but mostly when I'm on stage and the gig's just going really well and the atmosphere is electric, and you can just see people that have been at work all week and have their own stresses in life and had their own problems and worries, and they're just in like euphoria. They're just looking at you like so happy, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm taking their stresses away right now and controlling their night by giving them good energies, and that's quite a nice, rewarding thing. And you know, when people come up to you, and there's been times where quite often, even like today, like people messaging saying, you know, you've saved my life from music because I've been in such a dark place, and like I'm just such a lover and a fan of your work, and you've got me out of dark places when it's been really, really worrying times and things like that. You think like, God, like you really do underestimate how much you can touch people's lives just from creating music and being a DJ and like being a personality. So like they're things that really make you happy inside and really fill you with like joy, I think.
Does that motivate you to do more? And
Yeah, you just
on?
think like, whatever you're doing is working, people like it, and you're kind of giving a service to people, like you're creating people's happiness. And obviously I get messages asking for like birthday messages and stuff, and I try to do as many as I can, because I know when I was younger, if I received something like that, it would make my year. And whenever I get asked now, I will always try and do it, because I think 1 minute out of my day will literally make their week. And it happens, and they do. Like, it's crazy, because obviously when you're living it yourself, you don't feel like you're going to have that effect on people. But then you do a quick video, send it, and then they'll send you a video back from their reaction, and they're like burst into tears, or they're like, and you're just thinking like, yo, like I've made that kid's birthday, and like just from a video. So
yeah, I saw you retweeted one on Twitter. It was a while ago now. It was a little girl getting her presents for her birthday, and then her mum showed her a video, and it was you saying happy birthday, and she started crying.
Right, yeah. Like I said, it's quite often that happens. So I do try. You can't do them all, because you just can't. There's that many, but I'll always try and do as many as I can.
We've got a cousin called Ella. She's turning 15 next week.
Okay.
And she's a massive fan of yours. She was actually round here earlier, and we said, you're never going to know. Guess who's coming round? And she went to one of your shows in Birmingham recently as well. And yeah, she loves you. So if
amazing.
you could fire one down the camera and say happy birthday to Ella.
Happy birthday, Ella. 15 years old. Hopefully in a few years I'll see you at a show, maybe abroad on holiday, Zante or Napa or wherever, Ibiza. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you at a Birmingham show very soon.
So what's the future for Nathan Dawe? What is the plan moving forward?
I think like obviously keep releasing big tunes, try and like solidify myself as like, a big artist in the music industry, and bringing out, top 10 after top 10 hopefully, and then taking it further afield and trying to branch out to like Australia and other European like territories and America, and just try and grow that way. I think I'm quite an unusual artist. Like I can get away with bringing out like an R&B record and a dance record and still receive support from them, which is really unusual. There's not really anyone else really doing that right now. So it's an exciting time. Like the team's really excited. All like the label perspective, they're really gassed, and just keep working hard and hope that one day it can be like a worldwide brand. Yeah.
Is there any DJs out there that you look at,
Naturally, I'd say Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
Only because there's a lot of similarities. Like, he was a DJ before he was a producer. I'm the same. He's like, he did tunes with rappers at the start, and so have I.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of people are starting to make the comparisons now. And
you take that though.
I'm going to say,
100%.
if I can have like 1% of that success, then I'll take it now. But yeah, that's probably my ultimate aim.
Yeah. Have you ever had the chance to meet him?
No, never.
Yet.
That's one that I want to meet.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, so we've got one last question. It's one that we ask all of our guests. If you could go back and speak to the 18-year-old Nathan Dawe and tell them one piece of advice, what would you say?
Oh, good question. I would probably say, release music a little bit sooner, because I feel like I waited a little bit too long. Not like that it's a problem, it's just that it would be nice to be like 6 or 7 songs in rather than just 4.
Yeah.
But so I'd say try and bring out music a little bit sooner. Don't waste your time concentrating on like internet trolls or whatever that might say things that previously made you upset. And just keep doing what you're doing, because whatever I was doing at the time was setting the foundations up for what I'm doing now. So I would say they're the main 2 things. And potentially just, there's nothing really I'd say that I should have advised myself, because I feel like I've kind of made the right decisions so far.
Yeah.
But I'd say like, don't pay attention to people that don't agree with what you're doing, and just keep working hard and bring out music, a bit earlier. That's all I'd say.
Brilliant.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Nathan.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Really appreciate you coming down. Really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, it was
Been
amazing.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you've liked the video, guys, please like, subscribe. Also, Nathan and KSI's new single, Lighter. Please go and check that out now. And we will see you next week. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.